Hi, Miss Kay. I wanted to share with you an assessment that I had one of my students do. EH is his initials. And because you're going to be his next year's special education teacher, I wanted to kind of show you how I assess him. It's hard for him to focus due to his diagnosis of ADHD. And it is hard for him to write his thoughts down on paper. So I thought because of those two things that I would have him show me that he understands how to write a reading, a response to a reading. For example, the restating, answering questions, determining text evidence, and explaining his answer by using this online platform called Kaggle. I know he loves to play video games, so this is really nice in that it's very colorful, it's visually interesting, and it's not just a paper and pencil that he has to write on to answer this question. So the Common Core standards that I'm focusing on is reading informational for the fourth grade. 1 and 2, reading informational 1 and 2, where it's key ideas and details. So the standard that he has to meet is to be able to cite evidence and examples in order to answer the question, and also to determine the main idea by citing examples and details from the text. So he read Sacagawea, and this was the question: why was Sacagawea considered cooperative, brave, strong, and brave? Cite examples from the book. So what I did was, the bolded part is what I had written for him. So I just went ahead and I typed restate and answer the question and left the rest blank. All he had to do was come in, click on this box, and then type his answer. Same thing goes for the text evidence number 1, text evidence number 2, text evidence number 3, and finally explaining his answer. Okay, so I added this to just show you can add more boxes or links, if you will. And this, so I thought after using this would be good to teach morphology. So you could put a Greek word in there, like a root word, and then have the student come up with other words. And then the definition, like you can keep growing the link. So, and this chain or this link can be, can go on and on. Like, I think, yeah. So you can actually add to it and keep going. So anyway, for this example, the constructive feedback I can provide to him, he can sign into Kaggle, and I can invite him to do this assessment while I'm watching. So after he's finished, I can show him or give him constructive feedback as to how to improve his answers. So for example, for text evidence number 1, I would tell him, you want to make sure you cite a quote from the book as one of your pieces of evidence, because that is a 5th grade standard. So he will be starting to do that next year. And also to be more specific. Okay. So, and the reason why I ask him to use quotes and to really be specific is because it will also help him with his reading comprehension. He tends not to go back to the passage when he's answering questions. I don't know if he just doesn't want to, or I'm not sure. So it's important for me to teach him that the strategy for reading comprehension is definitely go back to the passage. So having him find the text evidence, will assure him that he did select the right answer if it was a multiple choice question, or if he's answering an open-ended question. 2 alternative methods that can demonstrate this learning objective of being able to cite evidence to answer questions, cite details or examples in order to answer a question, is to use a thinking map. Whoops, sorry. And I can show that to you. So this is his thinking, this is the thinking map that he can actually do. This is editable. So again, why was Sacagawea considered cooperative, strong, and brave? And then like this is a tree map. So he can write cooperative, you know, the characteristics, strong and brave, and then he can cite his details right here. And once again, it is, you know, all done online, which I think would be more interesting and motivating for him. Okay, another alternative way is to draw pictures, to simply draw pictures. Why was she brave? So he can draw a picture of Sacagawea while she's being cooperative, you know, in the story, how she demonstrated her strength and also how she demonstrated bravery. Okay. Oops, sorry. And accommodations to help differentiate the learning, I thought would be really good if there was audio. If this platform could do audio to be able to read out loud what he's typing and also the question, that would be of help. And also speech to text. I really think that for him, he's able to verbally articulate his thoughts. He just can't get them down on paper. And, you know, so speech to text function would be really helpful for him. And also visuals as reminders. So I could also show him, you can show him while he's actually inputting in Kaggle a template such as this, which is basically RACER. Restating the question, answering the question, citing text evidence, explaining. And if in fourth grade, we start doing the reread. Make sure you reread it so that it makes sense. Okay. So next year when you have him, you might want to explore other ways of assessing him. Like I said, it's hard for him to put his thoughts down on paper. So for writing, he really struggles. So I thought maybe you could use this platform, Kaggle, or you can have him draw pictures or even do text to speech. But I think he has the knowledge and the answers. It's just hard for him to get it down on paper. And so maybe short answers like this without having to use transition words. I mean, we'll work on that as he goes through, you know, fifth grade and then sixth grade before he hits middle school. We'll work on other transitions. But I think this way, we at least know that he is able to find evidence, examples, details in the text to answer the question. And that way he can meet the standard for reading informational. Okay, thank you so much, Miss K. Bye.